Hello there, and welcome to Dr. T for today, September the 13th. Wow, it shouldn't be that hard, right? Okay, stage 1 actually has 2 boom cannons, and you have to deal with one of them. Good news is, only 3,500 hit points, and if you run up the right-hand side, hopefully you can blow up enough extra stuff that you'll have the GBE to pull it off, or at the very least, enough shocks that you can shock the thing as your tanks get up there and then blow it up. Once that boom cannon is down, your tanks can sit there. There is a rocket launcher that will be firing on you, but honestly, from there, shouldn't be that big a deal. Stage 2. Again, right-hand side, I guess kind of middle, sort of-ish. But you want to go to the right side of the sniper tower that is in the top right-hand corner. And obviously let your tanks take out the sniper tower and then flare all the way up into that very tip-top corner. And what that's going to do is allow you to take out the 3 mortars and kind of go around the cannon. When you take out the mortars, you can flare into the little nook, pretty much where I just threw that flare. And again, your tanks should go around the cannon and then right up and be able to shoot at the HQ from safety. Moving on to stage 3. Also, I don't know if anyone noticed, but that's a perfect example of that old tree bug where now when troops go in behind trees, you can't see and it doesn't make the trees go clear. Apparently it does that also for Android phones with prototype weapons, which is really nasty, because what that means is if you hide a doom cannon behind a tree and someone's using an Android device, they can't see that and, wouldn't kill it. And with doom cannons having this crazy AoE damage thing that's going on, my goodness, you could wipe out 15 tanks in like 10 seconds. Well, I don't know. I'm guessing random numbers here, but you could kill a lot of tanks. You might not get the defense, but you're sure as heck gonna get some sweet intel and gems out of that deal. Anyways, if you normally do stage 3 and like stage 4 is kind of like you're close but not quite, this is the stage 4 for you to try. If you're doing tanks, it's great because you can go down in the very corner where you probably can't see my tanks because they're behind a tree, but you can see the flare. And then from there, once you clear out a couple of the flamethrowers, you flare into that other corner, and from here, there's 100% safety. Nothing can bother you, and you can kind of just shoot away at the HQ as you would, I don't know. 314,000 hit points on the HQ, but the good news is, because that shock launcher just barely has range on like the edge of Dr. T's headquarters there, if you roll up all Zooka on this and you're like normally too low a level, if you can smoke past the the flamethrowers, or just shock the flamethrowers as you run your Zookas past because you don't have smokes yet, you get into that same corner, you'll roll up a little bit and you'll have range on the HQ, and your Zookas will be able to nuke it down in like an all Zooka format, if you would. Now, stage 5, starting to get tough. The good news is, as far as stage 5 is, and especially because like stage 4 is a breeze compared to the last couple of stage 4s where poor people working on stage 4 are gonna just be sweating like, oh, is it gonna happen today? So stage 5 is kind of on a decent difficulty curve from the easy stage 4, which means it's not too horrible. There is a boom cannon, a shock launcher behind the HQ that you are going to have to blow up with GBE. The good news is there's a bunch of machine guns and flamethrowers and stuff to the west side, which you can use your tanks to shoot up, get extra GBE, and kind of toss away. The shock launcher does have like 17,000 hit points, so it can be beefy. The good news is all the boom cannons that are kind of in between the shore and the HQ, you can totally go around and you don't have to worry about taking any of them out. The only thing you really need to blow up with GBE is the shock launcher. Now, once you get to this point, I strongly suggest, and hopefully you've got the GBE for it, throw the shock down on the 4 remaining defenses right there. The 2 sniper towers and the cannon and stuff, all, I guess, leaning sort of to the left-hand side. Once you take out all those different defenses, flare a little over so that your tanks take out the sniper tower on the right-hand side of the base, or the east side, like northeast if you would, without getting into range of the cannon. Because if you can pull that off, the sniper tower is the last real thing you have to worry about shooting at your tanks. If you take that out with your tanks, they'll naturally just turn down to the HQ like mine did there, and they'll just sit there shooting away, and your medics should have no real problems countering the rocket launcher in the top right hand corner there that just keeps throwing barrages onto my tanks. And if you really want, you can throw a whole bunch of critters at the HQ just to speed it up a bit. Alright, now let's move on to Stage 6. This is where things start to get interesting. When I saw Stage 6 the first time, the first thing that like shot through my head is, where my Grens at? Like, this whole opening section, there is the one sniper tower, but like behind that sniper tower, it's all machine guns and flamethrowers, and there is a boom cannon kind of further in, but again, after that one boom cannon, there's more machine guns and flamethrowers, and I was just like, oh, the Grenadiers would eat this alive. Now, because we're rolling with the Tmeds, obviously use all of these extra flamethrowers and machine guns for tank food. Just gobble up as much as you possibly can. Watch the boom cannon. You kind of saw it for just half a second on the right hand side. Watch that boom cannon. You don't want your troops trailing over there and getting their butts kicked. And then while they kind of eat their way through all the flamethrowers and machine guns, focus on the 2 boom cannons back there, blow them up. And the shock launcher boom cannon combo, take that out with the GBE. Yeah, there is a lot of blow this up and blow that up. Now, if you're really desperate and you can't take out all of those things, leave the 2 boom cannons that are close together with the 2 sniper towers, and what you can do is one shock will take out the 2 boom cannons, 2 snipers, and if you're really careful, the cannon as well. So it's just like one massive shock, and you can use the GBE to take out the shock launcher and the other boom cannon that were kind of off on their own. The killer is you're going to have to make sure that you take out all of those boom cannons and sniper towers you just shocked with enough GBE that you can blow up yet another shock launcher and boom cannon. Not a super hard level, just very, very GBE intensive. And that's one of the reasons why I was like, yo, where are my Grens at? Because if you were to say run, instead of 5 boats of tanks, 2 boats of tanks, 3 boats of Grens, those Grens would just absolutely shred this base in the beginning. It would be fantastic. And then obviously that would give you more GBE for blowing up all of the things, because you really do need to blow up all of the things. And then once you do clear out all the stuff around the HQ, if you just flare over to the right hand side, it'll get you out of range of the shock launcher that you saw kind of pestering me, and you can take out the HQ in relative safety from here. Obviously, my medics were not in the best place, kind of in between the tanks and the things trying to kill the tanks, which is the last place you want your medics to be, but a few smokes takes care of that, and we can move on to Stage 7. And so, When I saw 6, I was like, where are my Grens at? When I saw 7, I almost like was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna switch over to Grens, and I'm gonna rush a level or 5 so that I can like roll through this monster with Grens, because oh man, look at the way that thing is packed with just machine guns and flamethrowers all over. Some Grens like tossing at the machine gun would be hitting those sniper towers. It's so crazy. So I guess the moral of the story is, if you do have the Grens to pull it off, like they're high level Grens, roll either Grank or, you know, some kind of Grenadier combo, or if you're just that good, roll pure Grens, because really those two boom cannons, that you saw me take out with artilleries, well, obviously they need to go because they'd be able to hit your Grens, and there are some shock launchers and boom cannons elsewhere that kind of need to blow up. But aside from that, all of the GBE from this whole section is just wasted on blowing up mines, blowing up sniper towers, and trying to kind of rush my poor troops through this area. The biggest thing that I was worried about was there's so many defenses, and it is like a 200+% health boost. I'm not going to lose anything, but I was worried about racing that clock, which it turns out I didn't have to worry about that much, but that was like my biggest fear was, oh no, I'm gonna have to beat the clock and get in there. So I just started throwing some barrages to soften up the defenses so my tanks could get through a little bit quicker. If you're rolling with Grens, I don't think you'd even have that problem, because their crazy drunkenness would soften everything up behind what your tanks are shooting at, and your tanks are just going to be the finishers to kind of clear stuff out of the way. You'd probably cut right through this base like a hot knife through butter. Now, the only regret that I have with my approach to this base is I may have wasted a little too much GBE softening up various defenses, because when it comes to the very end and the actual just like sitting there laying on the HQ, I was tossing, you know, critters needlessly, and I sort of ran out of GBE, and it actually cost me the one tank I lost in this attack. If I had been able to shock the sniper towers, then I wouldn't have had even the single loss. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully this has been entertaining. And most importantly, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day.